body. And the person said, wow, how beautiful. Then a voice of loving authority interrupts his thoughts. Well done, thou good and thou faithful servant. Be thou over the state of New York and the eastern part of the United States. Enter now into the joy of thy Lord for 1,000 years. That was Jesus speaking, wasn't it? He asked the angel. Yes, that was the Master. Look at that saint's glorified body. How marvelous, how beautiful. An eternal body fashioned in the image and likeness of Jesus. Look, they're placing life's works. There's another person, and they're putting his life's works there, and they're putting the fire. Yes, that's another Christian. Every individual must stand individually before the Lord and have his works tried. Every one of us, by ourselves, will stand there before the Lord. Then a huge blaze flares up, which shocks and frightens this man. He looks again, and there's only a pile of ashes. He is brought back to reality by the authoritative voice again. But this time, the sound of that voice sends cold chills up his back. Thou wicked and slothful servant, go to the back side of the wastelands there, and there begin your 1,000 years of work as a servant, as a slave. This man stands there trembling as one after another person has his works tried by fire. He hears sometime they commend, and Jesus stops everything and just says, man, look at this person. Jesus is, whenever cheering breaks out, applause breaks out, and all of heaven is focused. And this man says, what are they cheering about? They're cheering for that little old lady. Her? That lady there? Yes. They're cheering for her. She's a 97-year-old saint who lived in one of the most depraved, sinful towns in her country. She almost single-handedly turned the whole town and the whole place back toward the Lord. The whole area was converted. Her? He looked in amazement. Yes, her. Well, what did she do? That was so great. When the town was so wicked, there was only 2 or 3 members in the church. She, as a girl, she dedicated her life to pray for revival, to pray for lost souls, to live to get people saved. She went 58 years without missing a service. The angel replies, you mean without missing a Sunday, don't you? No, I mean all services. She'd walk to church in the rain and the snow. Often she'd slip into a Sunday school class room when everyone had gone home, and she'd pray and weep for lost souls. Do you mean she never missed a Sunday? Or do you mean a Wednesday night? She must have. No, Wednesday nights and prayer meeting was her favorite service. Amen. Well, look at her now. He explained as she is transformed. What a beautiful, glorified body. There are 2 things, the angel says, that Jesus loves to do. 2 things? Yes. He loves to reward people who are faithful in pursuing their life's purpose. This little lady was saved when she was 13 years old, right after her lost alcoholic daddy was dying. And she faithfully served the Lord for the last 84 years of her life. Well, that is something. What is the second thing he likes to do? His most favorite thing that Jesus likes to do is take a nobody, as far as the world is concerned, just a nobody. Someone who's insignificant, doesn't have much of a job, but who, in his vocation, in his life, did his job good, was a good citizen, but he pursued his life for Christ. He is faithful wherever you found him, and honored the Lord by the way he lived, by the way he acted, by the way he spoke, by the way he kept himself. Jesus likes to take a little nobody as far as the world is concerned and lift them up and honor them and show the true greatness in that person's soul. And he loves to come in before the royal courts of heaven and say, this is my beloved daughter. This is my beloved son. Enter now, my child, into the joy of the Lord and rule and reign with me 1,000 years. People who live without fanfare, live without any notice, they just did their jobs regularly in the church. He loves to do that. And then this person now is getting closer and closer and closer to the judgment fire. He begins to think, well, why didn't I try to find out my purpose on the earth? Why didn't I find out and begin to live my life in the light of eternity instead of living my life for myself to have a good time, but my thoughts always centered around me and mine and what's in it for me? Why was I more careful how I build my life's works? There's another flash, and this time it was so terrific. It was blinding that the man actually closed his eyes and bowed his head. An angel said, what are you doing? He said, where I was raised, a flash like that was a bolt of lightning. And it was always followed by a rumbling, a tone of thunder. And I was waiting for the thunder. He said, oh no, that was just a hypocrite, a Christian who claimed to be a Christian, but did not live right and played the game of Mr. Big. No, he just burned up his works. That's what that big flash is about. What's wrong? Inquired the angel. Why are you shaking so? Why are you shaking so? He said, oh, I'm almost there. I was only a few more steps. Why didn't I go to church more? I knew way down deep in my soul I should have tithed. And the stories that those missionaries told, and those pictures they showed of those poor people in other lands. I mean, I shed a few tears, but why didn't I respond? Why didn't I respond and give and help that missionary more? And all my friends, my fellow workers, my neighbors, all of them were my friends. Why didn't I speak to them about Christ? Why didn't I pray for them? Why wasn't I more open to them, to do my best to get them to go to church to be saved? And the next person's works will be mine. He stands there, and an angel nudges him. And he thinks, what will I say? When I look in the face of Jesus, what will he say? Where will I spend 1,000 years? And he feels himself shudder as he breathlessly waits. He watches as he's almost petrified as they put his works into the fire. And then they bring the torch, and there's a big flash. And he looks in unbelief. His life's works is just a pile of ashes. He thought he'd look in the face of Jesus, but now he's so ashamed that he couldn't lift up his eyes and look into Jesus' face. And if he did, he couldn't see him because the tears are gushing out so. And he hears something that just chills him to the bone when he hears Jesus say, depart from me, you worker, unfaithful servant. Then he said to the angel, angel, before you take him to the